Please listen with care. This post discusses sexual exploitation and trauma. When people talk about men like Jeffrey Epstein, Andrew Tate, or Sean Combs, they talk about power, scandal, court cases. They don't talk about what it does to a body. They don't talk about what it does to a mind that had to survive years of sexual exploitation. But I'd like to tell you what that feels like. It feels like living on permanent alert, knowing that a doorbell can change your life, flinching when somebody walks just that little bit too close, constantly scanning every room for the nearest exit, never fully relaxing, even knowing when you're safe. And it doesn't end when you escape. The fear just doesn't pack up and leave. It follows you around for years. When you've been sexually exploited continuously, not once, not twice, but over and over, and sometimes for years, your brain does something extraordinary to keep you alive. You split. You can become two people, the one that survives and the one that disappears. And you learn to perform compliance whilst your mind floats somewhere near the ceiling. You learn to detach from your own body because staying inside it would simply just destroy you. And when that happens day after day, week after week, year after year, you don't just have trauma. You become structured around survival. And this is something I just don't hear people talking about. The paranoia, the constant sense that it could happen again, even if you're in a healthy relationship, even with somebody kind, even just walking along the road. Your nervous system doesn't care that the context has changed. It only knows that this has happened before. Stay alert. So you struggle to form friendships because closeness once equaled danger. And you also struggle to maintain relationships because trust feels like stepping off of a cliff without a parachute. You question your own judgment. How did I not see it? Why didn't I leave sooner? And what if I choose wrong again? You just don't trust your own instincts. You don't trust your own attraction. You just don't even trust your own voice. So you become careful and then distant and then isolated. And then you become a shell. And doing something you do not consent to every single day, it changes you. Being raped repeatedly under coercion, threat, or control is not an experience. It's an erosion. It erodes your identity, your safety, your sexuality, agency, your self-trust, your joy. And you don't come out stronger. You come out dismantled, and rebuilding takes years. Years of peeling back shame that was never yours, years of learning what desire even feels like, years of teaching your body that touch can actually be safe, years of understanding that freezing was not consent. And it is surreal because the world moves on, but you are still untangling yourself from something that lived inside your nervous system for years. And when society keeps centering powerful men, debating their guilt, analysing their wealth, it reinforces something dangerous. And it says, the story is about them. It's not. The story is about the 6-year-old abused by an influential man and didn't have the language to understand what was happening to her. The 17-year-old who disappeared inside herself to survive. The woman who cannot sit with her back to a door. The mother who cannot explain why she panics when her daughter stays out late. The partner who loves deeply but cannot tolerate vulnerability. The aftermath of long-term sexual exploitation and abuse is devastating. It can take decades, maybe even longer, to feel like a person again. And even then, certain triggers will still pull you back into that room. So, yes, we need to teach our sons and daughters differently. But we also need to stop minimizing what survivors carry. This is not a mistake. It is not bad choices. And it is not regret. It is prolonged violation of autonomy. And it reshapes a human being. And if you are a survivor that's reading this, the paranoia makes sense, and the isolation makes sense, and the difficulty forming relationships makes sense. Your system adapted to survive the absolute unthinkable. And that doesn't make you it doesn't make you broken. It makes you somebody who endured something extreme. And if rebuilding feels slow, that's because you're not repairing a simple crack. You are rebuilding your foundations. And I would love for you to share this message because it needs to be heard. And it's not to fuel outrage, but it's simply to humanize the reality. And if you're living in the aftermath of exploitation, please don't think that you're weak for still struggling years later. You're not. You're probably stronger than most people. The nervous system heals in layers, and you get to take it at your own pace. And there's no pressure, there's no performance, it's just the truth. And just heal. Please share this.